Hi everyone, my name's Laura and you're watching my channel So Very Laura. Welcome if you're new here and welcome back if you're an existing subscriber. So at the end of my last vlog I told you that I was going to the Sewing for Pleasure show today at the NEC, which was part of the, I think it's called the Creative Crafts Winter 2024 show. So it has sewing and kind of card making and stuff in one hall, and then it had baking in another and a kind of Christmas show in another hall. So the only one I went to was the kind of crafty hall, if you like. And I went with the lovely Sam, who is Sequin Girly Creates over on Instagram and also here on YouTube. So I'll link her channel below. And she was lucky enough to have won a pair of tickets from Becky's sewing studio, and Becky was exhibiting there. So more about her later. But Sam very kindly invited me to be her +1, if you like, on the pair of tickets that she'd won. So we decided that we were going to get there early, so we met up just as it was opening, actually, and got in before it got too busy, although by the time we left it was getting pretty packed. That well, not obviously, but it was around lunchtime. So I thought I'd hop on really quickly and show you what I got. So if that interests you, please stick around. So when we first got in, we were given a tote bag, which I'll show you later because it's got some of my other goodies in it. And then the first stall that we went to, where we actually bought things, was AbigailRoseCreative. So that's her card. And I was really drawn to this because she sells literary embroidery. So she had a whole set of kits that were kind of literary quotes, or I think one was actually like the figurine of Jane Austen. So she is online. She's got an Etsy shop, so I'll link her details down below. But I got this kit. So it's called Obstinate Headstrong Girl, and it's a quote from Jane Austen from Pride and Prejudice. So this is going to be a bit of a step up for me when I get to it, because unlike the other embroideries I've done where I've had like an outline to follow, and I'll show you a bit of progress on the one I'm doing at the minute, this one hasn't. So if I open it up, it comes up in this beautiful yellow, very Sony Sunshine-like paper, and then it has everything in that you need to make it. So, but the fabric that you stitch onto is actually blank, but then you've got a paper with the wording and everything written on it. If I can get it out, there we go. And it has some felt, which I'm assuming is the backing. And then you also have a pen to put the design onto your paper. There's a big instruction booklet as well, so I need to read how to do this because I've not done it before. And then you have a little needle threader, which is very cute, with a flower on it, and a couple of needles. And you have your embroidery silks. So there we go. So those are the embroidery silks, and you can actually change the wording if you want to, because obviously if you're transferring it onto the fabric. So if I wanted to, I don't know whether I can still pass for a girl at 60, but if I wanted to, I could change it so it said obstinate headstrong woman, or just obstinate and headstrong, or I wouldn't even have to necessarily put it in. I could just do the flowers. But anyway, I got that. So that was my main purchase from Abigail, and that was, I think, £30. So that was the first purchase I got from her, but I also picked up a few other bits. So I got myself a needle minder, and this is magnetic, so you can actually stick it onto your fabric while you're sewing or when you finish sewing, and pop your needle on it, which I think is great because I keep sort of sticking mine, for the one I'm doing at the moment, I keep sticking it on the piece of cardboard that's holding the threads, which probably isn't very sensible. So I thought that that was nice. It's also really pretty. I'll just show you. She did them in bigger sizes as well, but I quite like the little tiny one. And I got a needle sharpener, which you just pop your needle in. So it is slightly magnetic, but I think you just push your needle in and out and it sharpens it. And I said, does it work for machine needles? And she said she didn't know, but she couldn't see why not. So I picked up one of those. And I also got, for a friend of mine who lives in the United States, a little key ring. I don't think she watches. A little key ring with her initial J for Jane on it. So I got that as well. So that was everything that I bought from Abigail Rose. So yeah, that was a good start. And then not that long afterwards, we went off to see Becky from Becky's Sewing Studio, who, as I say, is the person who ran the competition where Sam won her tickets. And she had a whole range of things. She had some fabric and she had some jewellery, and I bought some jewellery from her last time. And she had labels and she had buttons. So I bought some buttons. So I got these, which I think are really pretty. So they're resin, and then they've got these little pieces of glitter in. And I just thought they were really pretty and they'd look really nice on a shirt. So I got those. And then I got 2 packs of labels. One is Becky's own brand. And these read, I couldn't resist this. I couldn't actually see what it said in the pack. And I asked Becky, and it says, I was not made to be subtle. So if you've seen the bomber jacket that was on my last vlog, you will know that that is very true. And actually, if you've seen quite a lot of other things that I've made, you will know that that's very true. So I got those. And I also got, which I actually saw on Rachel Stitched Up's last Stitched Up weekly vlog, these, which says made to party, and they're kind of slightly glittery, sort of, yeah, so they're a bit texturized, so that's lovely. So I just got those as well, but they're little rosy cheeks rather than Becky's own brand. So yeah, so it was lovely to catch up with her, and obviously to say our thank yous for kindly offering the ticket prize that had got us there. So that was lovely. So that was Becky's Sewing Studio. And then we ended up at a haberdashery stall, and I actually went back a little bit later on and bought a few more bits and pieces from there. So I think it was called Siesta Frames, I want to say. And I'll show you everything that I got there in one go, even though I actually got it in 2 goes. So first of all, I bought an embroidery hoop, which was only £3, and I had to ask a lady what it meant because it said it was a flexible hoop, and it's because you just roll that onto your inner frame and it stays put, whereas some others, like the one that I'll show you in a minute, you've got like a screw on the top, and that keeps your fabric taut. And I decided I quite fancied giving that a go, and I bought this to go with the embroidery that I bought the last time when I went to Festival of Quilts at the NEC in the summer, because this one didn't have a hoop with it. So I checked while I was having my lunch what size hoop I needed, and then I went off and got that. So I'm really pleased to have got the hoop for that one. So that was that. So I picked up that. And then I also got, you might remember me saying that to make the bag that I'm going to make with the kit, I needed some basting tape. So I managed to pick up some. So it's actually called wash away quilters tape, but I'm assured that it's the same thing. So I got some of that, and I also got a basting glue, because I think that might be quite useful either for bag making or for sticking in labels before you sew them, and that just washes away. And then I also got another pair of embroidery scissors. So I got these, if I take them out to see a bit better. So they're rose gold, and they're just like a little bird, like a little stork, and they've got the cover on, which I really like, so that they're not going to poke through anything. So the reason I bought these was that you might remember a while ago I made this, which is my sewing caddy that I use when I go to sewing socials, and I bought a little pair of embroidery scissors to use when I'm at sewing socials. But recently I've been using them with my current embroidery, which is also my first embroidery, and so I thought it would be useful just to have one pair that I can keep with my embroidery and one pair that I can keep with my sewing bag. So I think that the pair I had previously, which is these, will stay with my sewing embroidery, because my embroidery rather, because I've recently bought a bag to put this in, which came from that shop whose name begins with A, because I was really struggling to find anything, and I had thought about making one, and then I kind of thought sometimes you just don't have time, you just have to purchase something. So I got this, which is really nice. It's got a transparent casing on, but they go really nicely. So I think I'm going to keep these scissors in here and put my new scissors in my sewing caddy. But while we're on the subject of my current embroidery, just quickly, I thought I'd show you how I'm getting on with it. So this is a neon mandala design, and it's the first embroidery I've ever done, or certainly since I became an adult. I don't remember. I think I've sort of learnt basic stitches at school, but that was about it. And I bought two at Hobbycraft while I was in the States, and this was the easiest of the two, I thought. So I thought I'd start with this one. It's mostly backstitch. And so I thought I'd show you, actually, it's obviously off centre because I've got this is the other type of frame where you have a screw that you can use to tighten it. So it's off centre because can't remember why now. I think it was just because of what I was working on at the time. So yes, it's slightly off centre at the minute, but I've very nearly finished it. I've got some more stitches to do in these petals around here, and then I've got the centre to do, and then that's done. So I did buy it to work on while I'm away from home for work, and in fact I hadn't done any for a while, and I did pick it up while I was away in Birmingham for work, and then I just kind of kept going with it. And also quite often now I just get the train. If I'm only going up for one day, or if I'm going 2 different days, then I'm sometimes on the train, so I'm not staying over as often as I was. Also the cost of hotels has got a bit high, so I've just kind of kept going with it. So I've got this one, I've got another one that I got in the States, then I've got the one I've just shown you, the Rowan Dean one, and then I've got the new one that I've just bought. So I've got plenty to keep me busy, so I thought you'd just like to see that, because if I get really brave, then who knows, I might try and embroider something onto a garment at some point. So that's that, and I'll link to this bag down below if anyone's interested, but I didn't, as I say, I didn't actually pick that up today. So I think that was it on the embroidery front. Oh, not quite. The other thing I got was this thing called the Needle Bird, which is a needle threader with cutter. So I've got to fathom out how it works yet, but I think the bird's beak is the threader, and and then you've got a thread cutter there which has got the protective bit over it. And I got it because I've got any number of those sort of silver discs where they've got the little thin piece of wire, and you put the thread through, and then put your needle on. You put your needle on top first, and then you put your thread through, and then you pull the needle off. And it keeps breaking, and it's happened so many times, and I thought, well, I'll just try something different and see if it works any better. So I got that. So that's the end of the embroidery type stuff. And then the other thing that I picked up from that shop was 2 bobbin cases, because you might remember that the last show I went to, I bought a wall-mounted thread holder, but it doesn't hold bobbins, so this will give me 50 bobbins worth, which may or may not be enough. Hopefully it will be, but I thought it would be a bit more compact and it'll make some more room in one of my drawers, so I got those. Also got a few freebies. So I mentioned the tote bag, and I'll show you that in a second. There was live shopping promoting their, I think it's like a shopping channel that you watch on Facebook. So if you signed up to register your interest with your email account, you could have either a set of, I think they were watercolour paints, or a notebook and planner. So I went for the notebook and planner. So that was quite nice. You could use it for planning vlogs, or planning makes, or writing up makes. But yeah, I thought that was a nice little free gift, so I got that. So, burning question, did I buy any fabric? Yes, I bought fabric, but I didn't actually buy an awful lot of fabric, and I only had one purchase that was completely spur of the moment, and I'm going to say that Sam Sequin Girly put me up to it. So I'll show you the tote bag, because that's what the fabric is in at the moment. There you go. So it's rather nice, and it says on it what people think my hobby is: crafting. What it actually is: collecting craft supplies, watching craft TV, chatting with my crafty friends, and then it says Gemporia Craft at the bottom. And I think again this is a kind of set of TV channels that are all craft related. So they were going out and giving these tote bags out, which, yes, so on the back you can see the various ones. So you've got Jewellery Maker, Sewing Street, Visible Image, and Hobby Maker. So yeah, but it's not a bad bag actually, and it obviously will fold up quite nicely for reuse, so I shall be hanging on to that. So I think I mentioned to you, let me just get these bits out, that I want to make my mum a t-shirt. I mentioned at the end of my last vlog, I think, that I want to make my mum a t-shirt that I can put her family nickname on for her. And I said I wanted to do it on a bright pink t-shirt. That's what she wanted, and I haven't been able to find any nice ones online. I'm probably just not looking hard enough, but in the end I got I think I got 1.5 meters of this. So these fabrics are all from Roy's Material World, who I can't link to online because he doesn't have an online shop. He just sells in person from his shop in Leicester and goes to all the shows. So this is cotton jersey, and it feels absolutely beautiful. So I got 1.5 meters of that to make my mum a UV top. So yeah, I got that. So that was on my list, if you like. And then also on my list was plain Ponte Roma, and I saw this beautiful, beautiful Ponte Roma teal colour, which I really like, and which I think quite suits me with my blue hair. The only thing was I wanted 2 meters, and I've ended up with, I think, a meter, because he didn't have 2 meters left on the bolt, so I just got what was left. But that's fine, because I think it'll either make a skirt. I've got the Love Notions Sybil skirt, might be called Sybil Illusion. I'll link it down below. And that's a knit skirt pattern, and I've not used it, and it's got a ton of variations, so it's probably time I got on with it. Or I could make something like a Freya top, or a tunic. So plenty of options for that, but I do like it, so I thought I would get it anyway. So again, part of my plan. And the only thing that was a real spur of the moment in terms of fabric was this, which is another Ponte Roma, but obviously it ain't plain. And so Sam and I were standing at Roy's stall, and I was looking at the blue Ponte, and Sam picked out a kind of very rainbowy coloured fabric that wasn't identical to this. I think she might have bought some, so I'm sure she'll show you. And I decided that I like this one better, which is almost kind of like, sort of reminds me of feathers or fireworks or something. The sort of spray formation. So I got 2 meters of that, because what I actually want to do with this is to make a dress. So I got that one as well. And that's it. That's all I bought. So yes, I got a lot of haberdashery items, and I hadn't necessarily planned on buying all of those, but they're all things that I think will be useful. And quite a lot of them, like the basting tape, I had thought I wanted to buy, and as I say, I wanted the Ponte, I wanted the pink cotton jersey, I wanted bobbin cases, I wanted a hoop for my embroidery, and I thought I might well buy another kit. So I did pretty much stick to what I said. The other thing that I was going to look at, and did look at but didn't buy, was bag making components, I suppose, if you like, but I didn't in the end, because I didn't have a specific pattern in mind that I wanted to make, and I kind of thought just going out and buying, 2 meters of rainbow zip and some zippers and D-rings and things, when I didn't really know what I wanted, probably wasn't a good idea. And when I went to the Festival of Quilts in the summer with Christine, they had a whole stall that was devoted to bag making and kits and patterns, and I kind of think I'm not that experienced yet, so I didn't really just want to go in there and just kind of buy stuff randomly for the sake of it. And I think I'd have felt happier if there'd been a stall like that there. I probably would have been okay doing that, but I just didn't feel confident enough. And I decided, there's always other shows. There's another one in March. You can generally see a list of the exhibitors beforehand, or I can just buy them online. So yeah, I left it. So I had a really good time. So thank you again to Sam Sequin Girly for sharing her prize with me, and to Becky's Sewing Studio for making the prize available in the first place. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I left just after lunch. Sam went on into Birmingham, but I went home because I could feel myself starting to get tired, and because I had to drive for almost 2 hours, I thought I'm going to get a jump on the traffic. So that's what I did. So I came straight home. I really enjoyed the show. I think it was slightly smaller in terms of sewing shops than it sometimes is. So, for example, Rainbow Fabrics weren't there, and they quite often are. As I say, this bag place that I saw last time wasn't there. And I think also that, and I've said this before, you need to be careful that you don't get sucked into thinking things are always necessarily cheaper than they are online. Obviously, you're not paying postage and packing, but I did have the opportunity to look at a couple of fabrics in person that I've been coveting for a little while. But because I won't mention the name of the store, but but because they offer money off when you first order online, I sat down and worked it out, and worked out that if I bought what I would want to in terms of meterage and took advantage of the online discount, I would still qualify for free postage, and therefore, and that was cheaper than paying full price for the items there, because they were on at the same price. So the fabric I was looking at was £17 a metre, and it was £17 a metre online with a discount. So I kind of thought, no, I'm not going to do it. So as I say, I think they're really great events, particularly in terms of being able to hook up with people and have a chat. So I also saw, as we call a Sparkle Sam, So Let's Sparkle with Sam, who was on the So Different stand. So we went and had a lovely chat with her, and we had a lovely time. And yeah, and now it's all over again for, well, probably till Sewing for Pleasure in March. And just to finish on what I'm wearing, I am wearing Me Made underneath my hoodie, but when I got home I was really cold, so I've just stuck a ready to wear hoodie on. I went in my bomber jacket of Dreams, I'm doing it again, that I showed you last time, and underneath I am wearing a Billy dress made in a French terry from, I think, Little Legs Fabrics. So I will link the details and pop a pic in here for you so you can see what I'm wearing under my warm but ready to wear hoodie. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll have this up over the weekend for you, and I will see you next time. Have a lovely weekend. Hope you get some time for some sewing or whatever else you would like to do to relax. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.